Hi, I'm Margie from Marjorie's Candies, and today I'm going to make a cheesecake, a really wonderful cheesecake. And again, I'll say it's probably the only recipe you'll ever need for cheesecake. You start off with graham crackers. You can either buy them in the store already ground to look like that, or you can take graham crackers and put them in a bag, and you can take a rolling pin and you can squash them, okay, just like that, until they get to look like this. And what I do is I'll pour what's in the bag into a strainer and I'll strain them out. And I save graham cracker crumbs because I like to make pies. You can easily make a chocolate pudding and then put the graham crackers in, crust for that. So it's always nice to have graham crackers around. So you crush up your graham crackers or you buy them. And then you take, this is a half a cup of butter, and this is 1 3/4 of a cup of graham cracker crumbs, and half a cup of butter and the sugar. I'm going to mix the sugar in first. Did I say half a cup? It's 1/4 of a cup. I don't remember what I said, but this is a long recipe and I want to get it all on one tube, so. Okay, so we'll give that a stir because it's got some salt in the bottom there. Salt from the salted butter. Okay, I'm going to try to sort of stir that in slowly. And then mix it really well so it's all wet. And then we're going to put it into, I'll show you. And just start mixing it. Sometimes you can use a fork. It has a few more tongs going. We're going to press it into, as soon as this is done, I'll show you. Okay, let me mix it for a moment. Now you have this is a springform pan, and you can get these pretty much anywhere that they sell good kitchen equipment. It's a springform, so you open up the spring and the bottom falls out. Okay? That way later on you can take the cake out, it'll be sitting right on that. Okay, so the way you put it back together again is a deeper indentation. You drop it and you close it, and you just make sure that it's all nicely sealed. Okay? So the next step is I'm going to pour these graham cracker crumbs into the crust. And we're going to spread it out. Okay, you have to kind of make sure you have enough up the sides. I kind of spread it out first, then I'll start pressing it in. And then we're going to bake it at 350 for 10 minutes before we put the cheesecake in. So this will take a moment just to press out nicely. I'm pushing this into the corners because later on when you cut it, sometimes there's a lot of graham cracker crust in the corner where it bends. And the crust does not absolutely have to come up to the top of the cheesecake where it's baking. It doesn't really have to do that. Okay? Cheesecake can come above it. Because the springform will help. Okay? You just sort of want to make it even. Okay. We'll put this in the oven on 350 for 10 minutes. And then you need to let that cool a little bit. Okay, it's cooked for 10 minutes. We're going to let it cool. So we're back, and I have the crust is made, and it's it's cooled off a little bit. Okay. We're going to put the cheesecake together. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine everything except for the eggs, which we'll do later one at a time. There's 5 packages of cream cheese here. Okay, and then we're just going to put everything in pretty much and let it go. Try to make it simple. That was 3 tablespoons of flour, and this is 1 cup and this is a 3/4 cup measure. And this is 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. And then we have 1/4 of a teaspoon of vanilla. And we have a little more cream. Okay. And 1½ teaspoons of orange peel. And 1½ teaspoons of lemon peel. Okay, and I'll show you a little secret. because I buy my lemons and oranges by the bag, and I make biscotti, lemon and orange biscotti. I try to grate the peel off of the skin off of all of the lemons and oranges that I have. I press it down in a bag and I freeze it. And I put the name and the date on it, okay? So I can use it for my biscotti, and I will show you someday how I make my biscotti. So we're now going to start to mix this, and when it comes together, we will start it on low and just let it go for a little bit. Everything should be room temperature, by the way. So you start it off slow, just kind of push it in. Okay, this has been blended enough that we can add the eggs one at a time. I actually, picked this up and I scraped it down once, okay? Now, in here we have 5 eggs and we have 2 egg yolks, okay? And we're going to add them, like I said, on slow, one at a time. 1 egg will go in at a time. Just give it a little beat. That's going to be just fine. Okay, so now you just bring it over here, and I'm going to get another spatula. I love spatulas. And just pour that in. It's going to go up above a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to make a small. This in a custard cup. I'm going to make some small ones, okay? You want this to go in the oven on 500 for 10 minutes. Okay. And then I had a little extra batter left over, so I'm just going to put those in. I'm going to watch them a little differently because there's not that much in there. So for 10 minutes on 500, and then you're going to bring it down to 250 for an hour. The timer just went off, and so I turned the temperature down to 250, and I'm going to put it back on for an hour. But I'm going to watch it toward the end to make sure that it's not getting too browned on the top. Okay? You don't even really want to open the oven. In this case, I have those little teeny ones, so I do have to watch, but best to leave the oven closed. Okay, these baked in the oven for another 20 minutes or so. These are the little custard cups that I put in there, so they're just little snack things. You could actually have them for breakfast because there's not all that graham cracker crust in them. They make a nice little snack. Okay, the other's still in there baking. It has another good half hour or so. Okay, so now it's ready. This is going to okay, so this looks really very nice, and it's going to sink down in there a little bit, but we're going to come back later when it's cool, and I'm going to take the spring form off. And you have cherries here. These are fresh cherries. There's nothing on them. You can put fresh strawberries, fresh blueberries, or you can buy those cans of filling. I can get a recipe for that too, but not right now. Right now I have the fresh cherries, and so I'll see you later, and we're going to take the spring form off when it's cool.